All right, so at this point, you've set up your Google Analytics account, and you've also set up your commerce reporting account. But the one thing that we're leaving out is the fact that your site isn't very useful unless people can get to it. And what kind of refers to that is called SEO, or Search Engine Optimization. Now, while this course is definitely not a course in search engine optimization, it's always good to be aware of what it is and do the little things, at least in the beginning, to get your site noticed. So one tool that we can use to at least give us an idea of what is required is a module called Seo Checklist. And this module really is a module that doesn't actually do anything, but it just is like gives you what it says, a checklist of things you should do when getting your site SEO optimized. So what we'll do is we're just going to install this module just like we install any other module. And once we get this thing installed, we're just going to enable it. And then we're going to take a peek at what this module gives us. Oh, we forgot that too. There is a required module called Checklist API. So we're actually going to need that one too. So we can grab that one real quick. By the end of this, you'll all pretty comfortable with installing modules, which is good because like we said, the big bonus of Drupal Commerce is the fact that you can build any site you really want. You're not limited by the framework. So we're going to get that module installed as well. There we go. So now we should be able to turn on our checklist, SEO checklist module. And there we go. And it's also, once we save here, it's going to ask us if we want to turn the checklist API on, which we will. There we go. Okay, so now the module is installed, so now we can go and configure on that module. And like I said, this module actually doesn't really do anything. It is more just for knowledge. It's not going to affect your site anyway. So once this loads, we'll search for it, and we're going to click configure. And here we go. So all it is it's broken down into a bunch of sections, and in each section there's checklists of how or things you should do or be aware of when SEOing your site. So let's just start by going under the tools section.
So you can go ahead and look as you go through this. And one of the things in the introduction, actually, it says this is not going to search engine optimize your site. It's just a guide for people to follow when trying to add the different modules. And we're not going to go through all these, but if you go through the tools, you can see you can install the administration menu module. We're not going to do that because we already have an administration module. You can install Drush, which again, we're not going to do that. But some of the important ones would be install the meta tags module. So here there's a link right to the Drupal.org page that we can click on, and it will bring us to this module. We could go through it, we could read about it, and install it just like we would any other module. And you can read about the importance of it. It tells you a little bit on how to configure it. And for track your visitors, it says install the Google Analytics module, authenticate your site with Google Analytics.
So as you see, when you check things, you'll see the bar above starts to grow. Obviously, the goal, and honestly, the goal is not probably to get 100%. Some of these modules do not hold relevance for every site. Like I said, take it for a grain of salt and don't necessarily use every one you have to.
And some important ones like the site verification and XML sitemap modules. And the important thing to know is as you're looking through these modules, you're going to find modules you don't know how to use, but there's usually either videos, a lot on codekarate.com, but on other websites as well, that walk you through how to install and use each of these modules. So I wouldn't get too hung up on the fact of getting your site too much SEO'd before you launch it, just because it could take a long time. It's always something that you can build on as you go, but it is something just to keep in mind and to be aware of, because as you begin to grow your site, you're going to need to spend more and more time to focus on SEO. And there are companies out there you could hire if you'd prefer to do that, but at least the basics you should be aware of so you know what to look for, whether you're going to do it or whether you're going to find someone else to help you do that.
Yep. I mean, and make sure to check out Code Karate, but also check out Udemy. There's a lot of good courses on there as well for SEO basics and more advanced features as well. So it's an ongoing process, but just know how it relates to Drupal is this SEO checklist module at least gives you a very good starting point to getting the framework started in the SEO journey.